Well, hello there, boys and girls over at the school, parishioners on the website, on Facebook, and all of parishioners of St. Joseph Church. Today, we're going to talk about the chair of St. Peter. Much like this one, the chair of St. Peter was a historical object that it was believed and is dated back to when St. Peter was living and he was running the church essentially from Rome. He was the first pope, we believe as Catholics, and he was also the bishop of Rome. So, where does that lead us? Let's talk about the importance of chairs. Chairs are for resting, right? To sit idly and to be relaxed. Similar to that, the chair of St. Peter symbolizes our trust and our relaxation and our peace. The way that we can look up to the church and follow the church's teachings. And as St. Peter stood up for the Christians in early Christianity, we can look up to the Holy Father in many ways, and any Holy Father in that position to be our guide and to have our peace rest in them. So, this chair would have been similar to what St. Peter's chair looked like, because St. Peter's chair was actually a normal wooden chair. Now, what does it look like today? If we've ever been in the Vatican, in St. Peter's Basilica, we see at the very back, similar to how St. Joseph Church is, there's a reredos here of the road to Emmaus with Jesus and the disciples. In the Vatican, in St. Peter's Basilica, we have a chair lifted high up. It's actually really interesting because you walk in, if you had no context of what that was, you would say, why is there an empty chair up in the air and why can't anybody sit in it? Well, because it symbolizes the papacy of Peter, Peter being the first pope. Now, let's go back in time. Let's look at when Jesus brought the disciples up to Caesarea Philippi. He marched and marched and marched with them and brought them all the way up to this town. There was a cave there in this town, and it was a place of worship for foreign religions. And the disciples said, "Why, Jesus, did you bring us up here to this site where different religions make sacrifices to foreign gods? Don't you want us to believe in you and the Father you speak of?" And Jesus turned to Peter and said, "Peter, you are the rock, and upon you, this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not stand against you." You see, the cave that was at Caesarea Philippi, where many of those foreign religions made sacrifices, was believed to be the gates to Hades, the gates to hell, which, not in reality, but it was a symbol of that. Jesus brought them all the way up there to tell Peter and the disciples that Peter will be the head of the church after he ascends into heaven. So, that's where we get the feast of the chair of Peter, a special recognition that the Pope, the Holy Father, is the shepherd of all souls, all Catholic souls on the earth. The chair that is in the Vatican, in St. Peter's Basilica, it was a simple wooden chair, but in the 1600s, there was a cast form of bronze around it to protect it, because by that point, it was already well eaten by worms and falling apart. So there had to be a protective layer put around it. And there it sits in the reredos of St. Peter's Basilica for our recognition, to realize how important it is that we have a leader of the church, the Pope. Thank you, everybody. God bless you, and I hope we learned something about the chair of St. Peter today.